Listen now, we the talk around town. Alex threw the ball to Smokey for a touchdown. It's fourth down and you don't really want no more. We've been winning from the door. You should check the scoreboard. Check the scoreboard.
Welcome back to another episode of the Scoreboard. In today's episode, we're going to be looking at the entire AFC schedule for the upcoming 2020 season, and we're going to give you our record predictions and our divisional the divisional winners in all four of the AFC divisions. Now, this is a lengthy topic because we'll have a lot of games, a lot of teams to discuss, so we're moving the NFC to next week just to keep it a little bit more streamlined, keep it a little bit more chopped down. But Smokey, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Better than a lot of people. I don't have any sports comparisons right now because there's no sports.
There's nothing. There's nothing going on. But we're hoping, assuming, guessing that the NFL will conduct their season in the regular manner, starting in fall, around September with the regular season. So hopefully that's going to happen. But all we can do for now, since it's post-draft, and even if there was no sort of epidemic going around, this would be the dog days of the NFL year anyway, because post-draft, pre-training camp, there's really nothing new happening outside of a couple of free agents here and there. So we need to talk about projections. That's the most exciting thing to do. And how about we start in the East, as we tend to always do, move from East to West here.
Yes.
Start with the AFC East. So I'm curious to see who you actually have winning this. I have an inclination of who you have, but let me hear it and give me the records.
It is the Bills, of course. Yes. 12-4 I have them going this season. I have Josh Allen going on a tear this season. I didn't quite give him the record, but I believe this could be his Cam Newton 2015 season, you know. And he's got the team around him to do it. He's got an excellent defense there. The O-line is stepping up and has gotten much better. And now he has a star receiver to throw to. And plus, their running back situation is looking better by the day. So I could definitely see, I mean, the competition's not there. The Patriots are not there anymore. We're going to see how they perform. But I have the Pats going 8-8. So I don't think, as of right now, with my projections, that they're going to be any competition for the Bills, and the Bills are going to run away with it.
All right. I have to agree with some of the things you said. I have to disagree with some of the things you said, but mostly I will agree. I have the Bills winning the division. I have them at 10-6, and that's because I believe they face a very, very tough schedule outside of their own division. They're playing at Baltimore. They're playing Kansas City, and they're playing at San Francisco. Those, to me, are all going to be losses, so that's already 3. I think they'll drop 1 or 2 within the division because they're just not that experienced of a team, and I have them coming out at 10-6, still winning the division. I have the Patriots at 8-8 too, and it kind of felt weird writing this down because 8-8 is just that's not Belichickian. That's Jason Garrett numbers, right? And Bill Belichick is just not a coach who goes 8-8. It doesn't happen. But the Patriots are a very, very volatile team, and it's gonna depend a lot on the quarterback room that they're looking at. I believe if they sign Cam Newton off the street right now, I think they're winning the division. They're winning double-digit games. What they need is a serviceable starter, and we know that Jarrett Stidham could be that. We know that Brian Hoyer is at the very bottom end of maybe being that every other game. But this could go anywhere from 6 to 12 wins. And they're in that big of a range, I think, just depending on the performance that they'll get out of a quarterback. Just like it was, whenever they had Tom Brady, they had the guy was there, serviceable starter. He would play 16 games. He wouldn't take any risks. And he would just, he would be good enough. He'd always be good enough. And they'd win most of the games. Go for a deep run. If that's there, they're still very much to be reckoned with, right? If they have a quarterback, they're still in the race. But we don't know that right now, so 8-8 seems to be the correct prediction. Even though it's virtually impossible for them to actually go 8-8, the average of all possible scenarios, the outcomes, says that this is plausible. And then on the bottom half, I have the Jets also going 8-8, in part due to a tough division. And this division is very close to me in general because I have Jets 8-8, I have the Dolphins at 7-9.
Oh,
This
see,
is
I have the Dolphins at 4-12.
okay. I want to hear why that is later, but I can imagine why. This is the biggest enigma of all divisions in the league to me this year, because you have no idea what's going on anywhere. Jets are constantly rebuilding. I think they had a fantastic draft, in my opinion. Dolphins with the face of the league, Tua Tagovailoa, top in jersey sales all over the place. Is he going to play? Is he healthy? We don't know what's the team around him going to be looking like. Patriots, new quarterback. We don't know what's going on, and how good will the Buffalo Bills be transitioning from that second or that third year of the Josh Allen era. To me, this is going to be very close, but there might be outliers there. It's just very, very hard to predict. But let's hear what you have to say on the Dolphins and Jets.
Well, the Jets, I also have them at 8-8, of course. But yeah, it's basically because of the division they're in, I reckon, because you don't want to, just looking at the Bills, you don't see them beating the Bills, or I don't, either time. I mean, I guess it's possible for them to pull one out. And then the Pats, like, I have a hard time seeing them, even if the Pats are on the low end of what they could be this year, it's still hard to see the Jets competing with the Pats, because the Pats have, Bill Belichick has had that dominant mental thing that he has over other coaches, and especially Adam Gase. I think Adam Gase is the biggest problem here, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I agree.
With the talent they have, it's almost offsetting Adam Gase, and they end up dead even, and it's 8-8. But the Dolphins, here's the Dolphins, man. If they're gonna go with Tua Tagovailoa, I see this as Kyler Murray's first season. Like, you don't have a great team around you. Yeah, you have a decent receiver that could be a superstar. You brought in Matt Breida to be your number one running back, I assume. They have Howard down there also, right?
Yes.
It's probably going to be a committee backfield there. But, yeah. But, yeah, I see this as, the first season rookie blues. Everybody expects Baker Mayfield to come in and kill everybody in his first season. Everybody expects Tua to do it. Everybody expects Kyler to do it, but it never happens. Just looking at cycles, I would say his second season and possibly his third season is going to be even better than that. But it's for his first season, he's going to be learning the NFL, and I have him going 4-12, man.
Well, Tua's the only one that I'd expect to do it, because as opposed to the other two guys, he's actually standout quarterback coming into the NFL. But that's a different matter.
Oh, wait till we get to Joe Burrow.
Oh yeah, we are getting to Joe Burrow right in the next segment.
Yes.
The reason that I'm being kind of conservative on these picks for all of those teams in terms of really racking up the wins is because the AFC East is playing the AFC West and the NFC West this year, and there's a lot of strong teams coming out. You get, of course, you get Kansas City and San Francisco for each of those teams, but then you get Denver, which I think is going to be very strong. You get Seattle, who always has to be reckoned with. You get the Rams. You don't really know what they are about. You get the Chargers with another rookie quarterback, and potentially being empowered. So, a lot of teams that are on the up. Facing this division, which is very much in limbo right now and finding itself. This entire division is rebuilding still, though the Bills definitely seem to be furthest along, which is why I did give them the edge here. But I can see realistically, I can see every single team winning this division. Outside chance for the Dolphins if Tua starts all 16 games. But other than that, I think this is wide open, which is more than we could have ever asked for the last 20 years. It just wasn't. And that's due to the Bill Belichick magic that you described there with New England. But we'll see what it ends up looking like now that the other teams have gotten significantly better. But moving on, like you mentioned, to the north, including the Bengals and Joe Burrow. I'm going to let you start here. So what do you have?
I have the Ravens taking the division, of course, at 11-5, because I do see a little bit of regression coming for the Ravens, but they do still seem to be the dominant team in that division. The Steelers, actually, they almost made the playoffs with Mason Rudolph, and if Big Ben's back, I see them improving on their numbers just a little bit, but Big Ben is in the backside of his career, so it's not like he's just going to go back there and then they return to Super Bowl caliber Steelers. The Ravens probably have the best defense in the league as far as I see it right now. I know you're going to argue the 49ers.
Me? Okay.
Yes,
okay.
I know you're going to argue the 49ers, but there's a very big chance that the Ravens end up with the number 1 total defense this season. As far as the Browns go, Baker Mayfield and the Browns, yes, they should be. This should be the season that they put it all together, and they are the team that everyone expected them to be last year. It's the curse of, oh, you were supposed to do it, but then that tends to happen the very next season, and that's just how things seem to work in the NFL. But Baker Mayfield and the Divas out there catching the ball, and their amazing running back core, they have the talent. They have the talent. Look at their tight ends. Jesus Christ. They could be running like a 22 personnel and just kill everyone. Just thinking of their talent, man. I'm jealous. But they have new coaches coming in there, and they are the Browns. So I can't put them any higher than 9-7. So
9-7 is quite that's quite optimistic.
Yeah, because I think they should be much better, but they still have the new personnel coming in. The Bengals, Joe Burrow, the Wonder Boy, the greatest college quarterback of all time, some said. He's going
single season. Add the single season thing, and I agree.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't even quite think that. I think the team and the scheme and the Joe Brady had a lot to do with that. But as it stands right now, he's coming in behind a horrible O-line and some aging weapons out there. Well, aging, I mean AJ Green, basically. And we don't even know what his condition is going to be out there receiving, because he hasn't even played in a season and a half. So who knows? Bengals are going 3-13 this season.
Ooh, 3-13.
Yes.
That's not a lot of belief. So let me start from the top, like you mentioned. Ravens, top defense in the league. Okay, a lot to process there, right? With that single sentence, right? Maybe they might lead the league in all defense. It might be true, but that's not because they are the most talented defense. Now that's because if you look at their schedule, every clown franchise you can name, it's on there. Carolina in a regression. Yeah. Washington, totally. Jacksonville, they play them. New York Giants, Bengals. They got Browns, Jaguars, Giants, and Bengals back to back to close the season. And by the way, they get Dallas before that, which you never know what's happening. This is one of the easiest schedules in the league. Mm-hmm. And I have them written down to win 12 games. That's a conservative estimate. I think they can win 15. Realistically, the critical games are going to be obviously Kansas City, Buffalo as a season opener, and then you get these games against like Tennessee and New England, maybe Pittsburgh in the division. But I think the Ravens should have an easy path to winning this division. I got them 12-4, tendency upwards. If they perform the way they did last year, they should win 14-15 games. Close one against Kansas City, blow out the rest. Steelers, I got an 8-8 in the second. They are a better team than most give them credit for. And if Ben comes back and he's the old Ben, they definitely make the playoffs and they push for double-digit wins. Just not sure how locked up that situation currently is. They have a killer defense, by the way, too. Steelers' defense is not no joke. Now, you talked about the Browns. You said 9-7, and it would be a careful estimate. I guess it was last year, but then they underperformed with the same talent that they have this year. And yet another rookie head coach coming in from somewhere else who we have no idea how this is going to work. You still have a lot of, let's say, loose screws on your team that you're hoping are going to somehow work together. I don't believe this. I just don't believe this. 6-10. I got the Browns at 6-10. at the bottom of the division, along with the Cincinnati Bengals, who I also think are going 6-10. To the Burrow argument you made, yeah, single season maybe had the best, but then he's not the same quality quarterback coming out as people we've seen before. Like, no one would take him over someone like Andrew Luck if they were in the same year. Or Peyton Manning, John Elway even. Hell, I think a lot of people wouldn't have taken him over Tua if Tua didn't have that hip injury. I think actually my prediction was spot on and absolutely genius in every way when I said that Tua would be the number 1 draft pick to the Bengals about a year ago. And I'm actually defending that point with my head held high, because I think no one could have predicted that injury, and without that injury, I think that would have been the pick. I think I would have been right on that. Now, that didn't happen. People have said Joe Burrow coming out after 1 year. People have said he's Joe Montana. We'll have to see. Pump the brakes. I mean, he's had a great season. Ooh. See how he does in the NFL. I got him going 6-10. They're going to be improved, but they're not going to push for the division just yet because the talent isn't quite there. So Ravens win it easy. Steelers with upside, but I got them 8-8. Bengals and Browns both at 6-10. Let's go to the South. How about some pretty reshaped teams here? What do you got?
They are, and some of them for the better, some of them for the worse. And some of them are holding status quo here. When I named Deshaun Watson, Phillip Rivers, Ryan Tannehill, and Gardner Minshew, who stands out in that group?
Who stands out in that group?
Yeah.
In a bad way or in a good way?
What do you
Well, in a good way, I mean, it's got to be Phil, right? I mean, that type of experience, great pocket awareness,
but he's
true competitor. He's got a good offensive line in front of him. Yeah, it's got to be.
You're trying not to say Deshaun Watson. I see that. Listen,
he stands out on Houston. Like, he stands out as the best player on Houston. Bill O'Brien gets rid of everyone else.
Oh man, you just wish there was another quarterback as good as Deshaun Watson. That's what it is.
All right, we'll get to at least 2 of them in the next division. Don't worry about it.
In all seriousness, he's a possibility this season being a top 5 quarterback in the league again, like he has been.
I mean, you seem confident in that. You bet on it.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I'd take that bet. I would say there's more of a chance of him being a top 5 than not being a top 5.
I mean, I have the bet written down. We made it a month ago. So
I forgot we already made that bet.
That bet already happened.
Oh, awesome. But here's the thing. The Colts should be better because of Phillip Rivers instead of Jacoby Brissett, of course. They still have one of the best offensive lines in football. Texans may have gotten worse. Actually, I say they have gotten worse, and it's all Bill O'Brien's fault. The Titans, I don't see them having the run that they had with Ryan Tannehill. I don't see them sustaining that through an entire season because it looked more fluky than anything. I don't know. The Jags, Gardner Minshew, they're going 6-10. You know, there's also the possibility that they just tank for Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields or someone. But Titans going 8-8, Colts going 8-8, and the Texans going 9-7 to win the division with a horrible record.
Okay. So you don't think very highly of this division is what I take from this. I have the Texans at the exact same record as you, which is 9-7, and I have them 3rd in the division. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs with that record. I got Indy 11-5. Listen, they've upgraded massively. They have a great offensive line. They now have a veteran quarterback, the best since Andrew Luck, to navigate this, and he's less injury prone. He'll navigate the offense really well. I really believe in the offensive system. I believe in the coaching staff.
I believed in the Chargers. I just want to throw that in there, but yeah, maybe. I think they got a lot better on defense. They have young Stanos, Darius Leonard, DeForest Buckner. Look at these guys.
I think they're going to have a great run defense, going to have a great offensive line. Fundamentally, great teams are built in the trenches. We've seen that for many, many decades. And you got a really good quarterback, solid game-managing type quarterback at the helm. This reminds me a lot of the recipe for success that brought quite a lot of trophies to New England over the last few decades in a lot of ways. Great defense, a great offensive line. You build a run game behind it, and you got a quarterback who can just make throws and manage the game. I think the Colts are built very, very well, and I think they'll contend for even maybe an AFC title this year. I don't think they'll win it, but they might be up there, and I think they can make it to a championship game if they stay healthy. You got the Titans, who last year made it to a championship game inexplicably, a big success. Got them at 10-6, right behind them, kind of like you. I'm pumping the brakes there. They're not going to go crazy. They're not going to pop off like they did last year, and they're not going to go back to a championship game with the same roster. I don't quite believe it. We've pretty much seen the best possible outcome for them there. Beating New England, beating Baltimore. That was a lot of things had to come together for that to happen. Got them going 10-6, so they have a talented running game, good O-line, and actually pretty underrated secondary in my opinion. We'll see what Ryan Tannehill really is, but he's, in my opinion, he's just not a top 5 sort of quarterback. He's sort of more in the mid-range there. He's a good game manager. He can be fine, but he's never going to carry you over the top himself. Got Houston 9-7. Already talked about them. We got the Jaguars at 3-13 and the worst record in the entire AFC. And I agree with you on that completely. I think they'll be in a race for a new quarterback for maybe Trevor Lawrence next year. With the unfortunate thing being that the quarterback position is one of the least positions of need for them. Because I think Gardner Minshew is, quality-wise, he's fine. You know, he can be your 8-8 quarterback on an average team, maybe 10 wins. He can go to playoff games. He can win playoff games. He's not the over the top quarterback. He's a serviceable starter. He's better than Nick Foles. He's miles better than Blake Bortles. He's the best quarterback you've had in a while. But I feel like the defense is so depleted, and you don't know what's happening with Leonard Fournette. You seemingly never know. I don't see a lot of things going right with this Jaguars organization. People seem to not be happy. The management seems to not be doing a good job. People have criticized the coaching, ownership, and pretty much every instance in this franchise. I think those sorts of distractions always hurt teams. We've seen it happen so much with Cleveland and everything. Just not a recipe for success. A 3-13 for me now in a very tough division, I have to say. And by the way, about the Texans, I should say, I will give Deshaun Watson some credit. If he wasn't there, I think they might win like 5 games. I think he would. I agree. I put on 4 wins just because he's there. Because this is not a very good football team. Like last year, I said they're clearly better than the Chiefs outside of the quarterback position. Now I'm not so sure if this is even the case. I think they've gotten worse. They've definitely gotten worse. Sure. But he's going to make the better. Speaking of the Chiefs and the actual best quarterback in the NFL, go to the AFC West. Well, and what do you have?
I think in the first week of the season, we're going to see the Texans versus the Chiefs. So we will figure out very quickly what's going on with those 2 quarterbacks. But of course, I have the Chiefs taking the division again at 12-4. We know exactly what the Chiefs are, and we know exactly what Patrick Mahomes is. The Broncos, I see them being much improved and fighting for a wild card this year. I see them going 10-6 with Drew Lock and all their offensive weapons that they have piled up lately. Jesus, Gordon is there now, along with Phillip Lindsay, and that they may have a committee backfield too. They maybe throw Royce Freeman in there from time to time.
Right.
But yeah, they have a really good offense. It's going to come down to the O-line play, someone protecting Drew Lock so that he has time to make these throws, but they've got people downfield that are ready to catch them. Raiders, basically maybe a step back from where they were. They're in their new home, and it's John Gruden, it's the Raiders, and as you say, they're frauds. I don't see them improving. I've got them going 6-10 with Derek Carr at the helms. And they may be in the running for one of those Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence's next year. I can't say along with the Chargers. They just got their man, but he is a rookie quarterback on a team that is not very good at the moment. Like I said, I believed in the Chargers. And I've always liked Phillip Rivers. But he could not win with them. Yeah, he out of the last 5 years, he made the playoffs one time. And other than that, he was putting up, 4-12 seasons. 6-10, it's, I don't know. And that's with Phillip Rivers, who probably on a different team could have been excellent, could have had maybe even a Matt Ryan run, or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, is that your ceiling for quarterback excellence? Is the Matt Ryan run?
Of course, I was about to say Brady, but I was like, yeah, maybe not that high.
That 1 year makes like an excellent quarterback career. That one year when he actually was MVP.
Matt Ryan has had 6 playoff runs, by the way.
Well, I mean, but like that 1 year was really the only great year. Like the only really exceptional.
Well, that was the MVP season, Cam Newton had his MVP season,
And that was a much better MVP season. But God.
Mm-hmm. And Phillip Rivers might have had one of those on a different team, but as to this date, he hasn't, and he's reaching the back 9. Oh, he's well into the back 9. He might be on the last 3 holes of his career right now. But but the Chargers with their new man. It's a rookie quarterback on a bad team. I've got him going 4-12.
Wow, 4-12. That's I might have to open a bet against you on this, but let me give my takes first. Right. Kansas City wins this division, and they have the best record in the AFC. Big surprise, throw a party. 14-2. Patrick Mahomes is the greatest. If he does not get 14-2, yes. If he does not get hurt, they win 14 games and they go right back to where they came from. The Broncos. Listen, I'm as big a fan of the Broncos offseason as anyone can be, right? They're 10-6, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And I think John Elway, for the first time in his GM career, really completely nailed 2 back-to-back drafts. And we haven't seen that in a while, but just that's what it takes. 2 back-to-back drafts, you just destroy. You're in for running, and this offense is going to look filthy. I think Drew Lock is a really good young quarterback. It was the best quarterback in last year's class, and over the next couple of years, this will be proven to be correct. I had him go in first round to Denver last year, and they actually got him in the second. Outsmarted me along with everyone else, so that was good. And I think this year's draft was just it was a heist. I mean, they got so much talent so late down the line, and they got scheme fits too. Like Jerry Jeudy is the best fit for their team, whereas you can look at other teams, they're like CeeDee Lamb better, like Henry Ruggs has a better fit, but Jerry Jeudy is the best fit for the Broncos in the situation that they're in. Looking at a great running game, the pass rush, I mean, Von Miller's there, Bradley Chubb's there, they should still be very strong. So I think the Broncos will be back to the top in a hurry. Mm-hmm. As for the Chargers, I do agree with that. For now, on the very short term, at quarterback, this is a downgrade, right? You replace 10+ year veteran, top quarterback in the league with a rookie. It's going to be a downgrade.
On a team that wasn't winning with Phillip Rivers.
Yeah. For last year, I mean, the guy has had a lot of tough breaks in his career. I mean, come on, Peyton Manning leaves the division and Patrick Mahomes shows up right away. He's had a tough time. I mean, he's played some really tough divisions. You can't do that. But, I like Rivers too. I think he had a underwhelming career for what he could have had, at least success-wise. The Hall of Fame spot is debatable, and we might debate that in a few years whenever he decides to retire. I don't completely hate the comparisons with the modern day Dan Marino. I think there's something to that. But now he's going to take his chance in Indy with a much better team than the Chargers. I have the Chargers going 6-10 this year, because I think Justin Herbert he's He's one of the rawest prospects to come out, and definitely the rawest prospect to go this early this year, because Burrow's more refined, Tua's more refined, if be it injury prone, Tua's more refined and a lot more talented. But Justin Herbert does have an upside there. He's sort of the Josh Allen of this draft. Remember when Josh Allen 2 years ago came out, we said Darnold, Baker, and Josh Rosen, they all are pro ready and just to ready to go from their style. But Josh Allen has the biggest upside because he's the most athletic. He has the biggest arm. He's the biggest guy and has the most upside for a quarterback. That's sort of what Justin Herbert is this year. So 6-10, I'm pumping the brakes. The defense is still very good. They have two elite pass rushers still, Melvin Ingram and Joey Bosa. So they're not going to sink below a certain level of performance, but they're going to be in a tough division, and they're not going to have. I don't think they'll make a big shot at playoffs this year, but it's rebuild time, and Justin Herbert is a good foundation to do so. Raiders. I think you said it best. I wonder what genius you were quoting when you said the Raiders are frauds, because you're absolutely correct. That's what they are. John Gruden Raiders they're frauds. That's all I have to say. 5-11, and that's a generous prediction, by the way. I gave him a lot of the doubtful wins, like when I was I'm gonna give them a win here because I know they'll somehow get one, right? It wouldn't be surprising at all if they somehow beat Denver or Kansas City in the game for no reason, because that's sort of what they do. They win games that they're not supposed to, and they lose games that they're not supposed to, which equals to them still being frauds, and in my opinion going 5-11. And guess what? The new home you mentioned, being in Vegas is not going to help you perform.
Not at all.
Let me just for the sake of it, right? This thought experiment. Can you see Bill Belichick coaching a team in Las Vegas?
No.
Absolutely not.
I don't think I couldn't see the cast of characters that play for the Ravens under Bill Belichick at all. Maybe a few of them. But definitely not a Richie Incognito. Not even maybe a Derek Carr. I don't know. Maybe he's a little church boy enough.
Maybe. But then again, remember all the other characters that went through that organization, right? Vontaze Burfict, Antonio Brown, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of those, and it keeps going apparently too. A lot of characters in a city that does historically, not even just football, but historically does not treat characters too well.
No.
I think this is a recipe for disaster, honestly. This is going to hurt them.
The only thing worse would be if the Browns moved to Las Vegas.
Oh, dude, the Browns to Vegas. Maybe they should move to Miami or something. Like Palm Beach or something, so that they can have like a celebration on a boat whenever they make their first playoff game with all their receivers and stuff. And I'm pretty sure Baker would join in too. Sounds like a really great idea. Browns very very good fit for Vegas too, and while trying to be as impartial as possible, which trust me I'm not. Those teams generally don't win big things, right? When is the last time you've ever seen a party team, quote unquote, go to any sort of significant playoff game? Like, when is the last time that happened?
I want to say the 90s. Maybe there was. As a matter of fact, the Raiders 2002, where the center actually got drunk the night before and ended up in Mexico.
Maybe, yeah. It's been a while. You could argue, of course, in my memory, the fifth Super Bowl team for the 49ers, when you had Deion Sanders there, and they just, they basically do whatever the hell they wanted, and they still put 50 on San Diego in that game, and it didn't even matter because they were just better. But it doesn't work like that anymore. And Raiders, Browns, I'm sorry, I'm not seeing it. There are a lot of fundamental changes that need to happen. It's not looking good. Got the Raiders at 5-11, and the John Gruden experiment. Daily reminder: he got a 10-year contract. I mean, this is going to be a fun ride. I have no idea where this is going.
This will only be year 3.
This will be year 3.
They have a long way to go.
I'm projecting it to go down from here, especially because this is going to be a good division. The Chiefs are on top of the game. The Broncos are definitely getting there, and presumably this is the breakout year. And the Chargers are already ahead of the Raiders in their rebuild. So, this will be fun for sure to watch. So I'm definitely looking forward to it, but not seeing much for the Raiders there. So let's just maybe summarize this. I have the Bills winning the AFC East at 10-6, got the Ravens at 12-4 in the North, the Colts at 11-5 in the South, and then Kansas City at 14-2 in the West. How about you?
I have the Bills winning the East, the Ravens winning the North, the Texans winning the South, and the Chiefs winning the West. And for my wild cards, I have the Broncos, the Steelers, and the Browns.
All right, I got the Broncos, Titans, and interestingly enough, actually the Texans as the third rank in the NFC South, because I don't have any other second spot going higher than 8-8, with Patriots and Steelers both missing out. With my schedule there, but it sounds kind of weird the way I'm saying it, but the biggest difference between the two of us at this point is the way we look at the South. Because you definitely have the Colts and Titans lower than me, which for the Titans I can see. For the Colts, I'm not so sure. I think this is the point where I probably have to make a stand and kind of just really disagree with that. But other than that, I think
the Colts are definitely coming down to Phillip Rivers. What's he got left? Is he going to be the player that we know he can be, or is he past his prime? That's what it is. It's either going to be. I think the ceiling is what you have, and the floor is what I have for the Colts.
How about your 11-5 is the ceiling? It's closer to the ceiling. It's closer to the ceiling.
I would say.
You know what? Let's take 5 minutes here. Let's take 5 minutes to look at the schedule, right? Why not?
Yeah.
Game 1 at Jacksonville. Can we agree that this is a win?
Yes.
All right, Minesota Vikings. I'll say 60% win.
I don't know about that one.
All right, Jets.
I go 50-50 on that one.
Okay, Jets. That's a win.
Yeah, I'll give them 85%.
I'm counting on our fingers here. I'm counting just the wins that we agree on, right? That's 2. Yeah. Chicago Bears at Chicago. I think that's a win.
Yes.
At Cleveland. That's a win to me.
See, that's going to be tough because I have the Browns is improving this year.
Come on. That's a win. Cincinnati.
Yeah, of course.
That's a win. Detroit.
Yeah.
That's 6 wins. Baltimore, I'll say that's a loss.
Yes.
Tennessee.
See, that's tough. It's an in-division rival.
So there's 2 of them. So let's say one
I think
win
they're gonna
out of
split.
2 games.
Yeah, I think they probably split.
Green Bay.
No, not a win.
I think it's going to be a win because we'll get to the NFC next week. But you know what I think about Green Bay. Houston in the division. Maybe they'll split too. I'll give you that. I'll even give you a split there. Vegas Raiders. That's a win. And then Pittsburgh.
And that's tough because I have the Steelers coming back this season.
All right, let's say we'll give them a half a point there. Why not? And then Jacksonville to close it out, which is a win.
Yes.
So that puts us at 9.5 of just the wins that we agree on. And I'll add the 2 more that I believe that you might not believe. And we're at 11 already.
Some of those
what do you say?
50-50s, though. I think some of those are 50-50 games. Like, you could
argue Minesota as a 50-50 game.
Yes.
You could say Pittsburgh for sure.
Yeah.
I'll give them 11. I think their ceiling is around 13, actually. Not 11. I think 11 is closer to the ceiling.
Oh, man.
But I think they're going as far as up as 13 because they could pop off. I mean, they have a lot of potential on this team. Again, the trenches, O&D line is what matters. That's how teams are built. And then you get a quarterback who can manage everything around him.
Yeah,
this is a veteran team. You got standout defensive players.
It's an unfamiliar coaching staff that Rivers is working with. His weapons are all new to him. I don't believe there's one single one that's played with him before.
But you can get used to it.
True, but I don't think it's going to happen immediately.
Okay.
I think they drop.
Well, if it happens, I mean, it happens. It tends to happen faster with the veteran quarterbacks than with the young guys. to start fitting into the system,
that's
right?
definitely true, but I don't know, man.
I think it's going to work out. He's going to be at a much better team than he's been the last couple of years.
I just said 13 wins. That's going to be
as
a career season.
The max, like as their ceiling.
Yeah.
But the 11, I believe so. Maybe before we close this out, I'll propose this bet because we like to do that sometimes. Because we were talking about the Chargers, and you said the 4 wins. I'm a bit doubtful about this, so how about we put like 3 cans on that?
3 cans. Woo.
3 cans.
Oh man. So the over/under is 4, huh?
Yes, it's 4. If it's exactly 4, then we're tied. No one gets nothing.
Yeah, I could take that for Herbert's first season.
I'm gonna make sure to write that down.
I want to take issue with your Dan Marino comment, though. Listen, I like Phillip Rivers. He's a good dude. All that I know about Phillip Rivers is he's a great man, and he's a great quarterback. You know, but Dan Marino went to Super Bowls. Yes, he never won one. He had an undefeated season. He went to Super Bowls. He had an amazing run. He just never won the big one. We can't say that about Phillip Rivers. I mean, he's made the wild card a few times.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't say... Okay, so let me reiterate this a little bit, right? Because I think we pretty much are of the same opinion here. I didn't say Rivers is Dan Marino. What I said is literally that I am not completely turned off by people who compare him or call him the 21st century Dan Marino, because there is a lot of similarities in their career, and that's mainly consistent of being a Super Bowl and MVP and Hall of Fame caliber player being consistently pulled down by circumstances around them. And for Marino, it was more so the competition outside of their own division and the tough competition he had to deal with during his time that led him to never win a Super Bowl. And he still dominated for a long time. For Phillip Rivers, in part, it's the same too. Like I mentioned, you go from having Peyton Manning in your division, that Patrick Mahomes comes in, so you've always historically had a very, very strong team. And the Chargers for a long time have always been competing, and they've always, like every year, been like a reliable, 10, 11 win team, and they're going to be pushing for playoffs. And that's mostly thanks to Phillip Rivers, because there's a lot of rotation happening on that roster. So I think of course, he's not on the same level as Dan Marino, right? When Dan Marino retired, no one was doubting he'll be in the Hall of Fame. With Phillip Rivers, we'll debate it. If he retired today, would he be in the Hall of Fame? There's probably some people who'd say no, or at least not instantly in 5 years. So it's more of a debate. It's a lower level. Like if we could just say that he's 75% of a Dan Marino, 75-80% of that. That's fine. All I'm saying is I don't hate the comparison that people make. I could definitely see something in that, understanding that he's of course not the same class player and not as dominant, but he's still a top tier and one of the best of the century so far.
I agree with that.
All right, good. So we have that. We have the Chargers bet that's going to get written down right as we get off this recording, but for now, thank you everybody for watching. We will be back next week with the NFC, and it's gonna be spicy because we have a lot of strong and a lot of potentially weak divisions, depending on how you look at that. But it's gonna be interesting. So I'm sure to be back next week, same time of the week, and we'll have the NFC for you. So let us know what you think about the AFC for now. Do you agree with where we have them ranked? I'm most interested in the AFC East, because this is the biggest sort of riddle to me. Give me some insight on the AFC East in the comments. That would be cool. But generally, where are you seeing those fluctuating teams? Who's contending for a playoff spot and who's contending for a number 1 draft pick? Let us know in the comments of this video. Go check out Trash Talk Sports. Trash Talk Sports. The link is on my channel page. It is Smokey's channel. All of these podcasts are hosted on Trash Talk Sports, as well as this channel Beyond Football. So go over there and give him a subscription. Other than that, drop a like on this video. Thank you for watching, and we're gonna see you in the next one.
Deuces.